I got so busy making videos that I forgot not only did I have to get there and get in orbit, but I had to land too. So basically what we have is 6 solid boosters. I put in an extra gas tank here. I put in an extra gas tank here. I'm hoping the fuel cross feed rules obey. If not, I may be reverting flight and killing this video. But hey, let's go ahead and take a chance. I don't really know what's going to happen. Something's messed up. Quick reset never hurts. You always have to check this before every flight. It could save your Kerbal. The life you save may be your Kerbal's. So let's go out to the pad and just get to it. Anyway, I'd like to make this video shorter than most of mine, so I may be pausing you for the long journeys or something. Primarily, we're here to learn how to land in the moon, land on the moon. So I may actually pause, but I'll warn you before. And then if I do, we'll pick back up in the orbit of the moon. But you might as well see if I can do this. I have no idea what's going to happen. Alright, there we go. Not too much drop off the bat. So we're going for 200 meters per second at 2,300 feet. Looks like I'm at 100 meters per second and 1,600 feet if I double that. So as I approach 200 meters per second, I'm looking up. 19, 20, 200 on the bottom, 24. Okay, this is what I consider pretty close to perfect. We're going to have to hit the staging button twice when we stage, so we can go ahead and give it full gas now. But it's going to be a quick hammer on the button twice when it stops. 1, 2. Get it fast enough. I thought I hit it, but the program got busy. Probably didn't register the input, but I did push the button. But you always have to verify that your reaction you thought don't go over. Okay. I started tipping too early and scared myself. I'm gonna back off the gas. I feel like something's crazy. Let me go check my altitude projection. Alright, my apoptic projection is good. So I'm going to put the gas back on. I don't need all of it. Put it on 90, about 50-degree angle. And I'm going to let that, it's climbing, so I'm going to let it climb. That's about half gas right there. Put it on 45. Try to stick to that 90. Alright, it looks like we're about 36 seconds out ahead of our apoapsis or our apogee. What I'm doing is sitting here waiting for 60. I like that 35. If it starts to grow to 36, I may back off on my gas or get closer to my efficiency. But I'm kind of hanging out waiting for 60. Sometimes whether it's the slow burn or you give it all at once, you use the same amount of gas, or you end up in the same place in the end, just whether you use it in the beginning or the end. So here what we have to think about is where are our engines the most efficient? If they're the most efficient in space, well, we want to be in space, of course. I'm moving ahead of my 35 seconds, so I'm going to put this down on about 35 or 40. That's a real good start right there. 32 and let it pull away. I'm still doing 38, so I'm going to back off on my speed. And I want to go look. Alright, we have quite a bit of fuel left. It seems like we're doing really well, but I don't know what the end result is going to be. We are burning this fuel off. I'm going to set this to burn this fuel off first. See me plus that up. There, it just basically what it did is it put all the fuel into there. There, now all the weight's towards the bottom. We can do this one next, and then it'll burn all that off before it burns this off. So let's go back to where we're at. And that's kind of at 65, so at 65 I'm going to go ahead and place it on your efficiency vector. And as I close in on it, I'm going to try to time it so I hit 2,000 at the same time I hit 0, so it's going to take about that much, I think. And then I can always do this thing where I turn that off, and that'll make it rise into the 3 to 5 range. We'll still be in the efficiency ring, but we'll be a little bit slower to approach. You can see it's moving backwards now. So we'll just play with this with the gas. And we're going for the 2250. Alright, so we got it up on 77. That's a half a planet away. And what we do here is we just sit and do nothing. And it'll pull us into the space atmosphere. We have 500, 492 in gas. Barely enough to get us there. I'm not going to mess around with that. I'm going to go ahead and put myself in a angular orbit. And I think we're going to warp to here to do it. Oh. Alright, I haven't even got to space yet. So this really helped us, but it also added weight, and I don't know if it worked against us. I should not be time warping. Alright, so here's the deal. When I hit 70 meters, 70,000 meters above sea level on our planetary object, or I should just say our planet. It's talking like Star Trek. It's a planet and it's an object. So I guess if you were talking about, you know, a whole solar system, planets around stars, moons around planets, asteroids, comets, you would want to refer to it as a planetary object and not just an object, so you'd know which object group they're talking about. Oh, yeah. So I think we could have been more efficient, and I don't know if I would have had to get myself in this screwy orbit, this situation I'm in now. As soon as I get to 70, I can take care of it. Alright, so we're basically waiting for 70,000. Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. So then, now it will accept our warp input. So it looks like I only needed to move ahead about 3 minutes. Ooh, shoot. Anyway, I'm going to assume that that is about my worst mistake ever. Very late, and we hope it doesn't cost us something. Okay, I would like to get there without burning all 106 of that. Alright. So if we release that thing now, where's my periapsis? 152, 130, 92, 11. I'll take that. I don't have to burn it all. Okay, so if I somehow release it now, the space junk we created will go in this big giant orbit and will be less cumbersome to our universe. Not that we like it, but we actually have 65 to assist us on the orbit maneuver. So we might also be able to do that thing where we face it to crash it into a planet. You either want to send it way out or destroy it, so it's not dangerous, like a floating hammer in space, to run into your satellites or you, create more debris and have a compounding effect. We should have been responsible with our space debris from moment one, but of course we had to have hunter killer satellites. The thing they killed was near Earth orbit. They did us a favor. They made it impossible for anyone to explore in a certain area of space, or let alone have weapons, because they can be destroyed. Objects moving 2 to 3 times the speed of a bullet, even the small ones, can punch holes. What's the space station have? 9 holes right now? So most people don't know about it, but they do. And there is a reason to do pressure checks like every 15 minutes. I don't know how often they do pressure checks, but I know that's probably the check that they run more than any other check on the whole planet, is a pressure check. And I would suffice it to say that they monitor it continuously and constantly. Now, for some reason, we have this wonderful thing that has happened, and I could see it on the big map, that our peeps, our Kerbals, are on a intercept orbit. They should be coming in this way. There they are. They are 36 kilometers away. Alright, so one problem we have is that our orbit is off. So if we can get into orbit and then make an adjustment there, that would be really nice. I need to get here though. And then what we'll probably do is burn that out, pop that thing off, it can take off, and then we'll finish it. So let's go ahead and start it now. Alright, we've actually stuck it into a moon danger now. We're totally out of gas. Push it away from us, and let's go ahead and bring this, finish our it might have been better to let that thing go and send it off into space than bring it into us. Alright, so I'll put the apoapsis there. I may have time for a maneuver, which I'm going to grow it. And then try to put this a little closer. Alright, I like it. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And you can see that it's really close to that, except it's just a little bit off. And that allows us to do a change in the circumference or the radius of our orbit. Make that grow so we don't crash, and also straighten out our ascending and descending node. Now this one, it's almost imperative that we do it right on top. You can't cheat, fudge, or go early on this one. You just have to do it on the spot. Johnny on the spot. Just kind of put it right there. Now, we're closer. So let's go see what we've got. Says we did pretty good, but we want to see reality now. So what I have is 13 and 7. I don't mind that so much. I would like to point it towards the planet though and peel that back a little. Yeah, I'm sending that up, pulling this down. Alright, I brought that down to me. Now I can adjust anything I want. I like it on 7. And that means about here I can start my landing. So let's go look at the procedures and steps. This is one of the easier things to do in Kerbal, believe it or not. You don't even know where to start, and it's hard to understand how to even ever get here. Not sure what's going on. But one thing you can do is when you make your decision, just stick to it. That's down to 7. I may actually not be low enough, but let's go ahead and just do it. So what we do is we put on our gas and we bring it down. I would normally like to start this from about 6,000, but I'm going to start it from 9. So what I'm going to try to do is bring this down to 0, and I'm going to hopefully put it in this zone because this is all too lumpy. One thing that made me want to do it right then and there was I looked up and I saw some pretty flat land. I don't want to land on an angular hill, which it looks like I'm driving into it. Here's my angles. I start to see an angle there, an angle there. Hopefully we'll get a flat spot here. And it looks like I'm going to be coming down right below myself, right about here. So the idea is to bring it to 0, okay, and then let it fall. And we've come to 0, and now we're falling straight to the ground, and that's the only area in which we're picking up speed. So basically I'm waiting for 6,000 feet. And depending on what the ground looks like, I could change all that. Checking my fuel, I have 73 of oxidizer, 90 liquid fuel. So there's a couple ways to go about this. You can fall until you hit 6,000 feet, then you can gas back to 0, or you can start back to 0 now. Just put on the gas. What we're doing is we're just a little bit of slow burn, and it looks like we're falling forward, so I'm going to adjust my slow burn to either lock it up, and then I'll have to give it more gas later, or just trickle backwards. Trickle, trickle, trickle. And it's not hard if you just don't panic, and you know what to do, when to do it. And another thing we're going to look for is our shadow. This shadow really helps. If you have a night mission, then you'll want a light attached to your craft, which is really going to help. So as we get closer, I can't have that 70 meters per second. So I got to start burning that off quicker. And if we start getting too close, we just burn it really hard, really fast. See that? Have it down to 25 already. And the whole goal is going to be to touch down doing it about 3. Between 3 and 0. See that 2.4, everything gets all kind of rockabye. So I'm just going to let it get a little closer and let that shadow go. Hold it here about 4. And then at the moment of truth, I will Alright, so something's happening. It was overcorrecting. The autopilot was mucking with me. So I turned it off. And what it was it was trying to adjust to an angle on the ground. Here I am at 1.7, 1.6, 1.5, 1.3. I'm going to touch down. Well, you have touchdown. And now you got to survive the tip. Which that's why I was looking for level ground, because now you want to fall over. So, why did I throw that mystery goo off at the last minute? So here we are. We're on the planet. Let's just do a crew report. Crew report from the Munland's lowlands. I mean, I'm touching. They should give me more than that. Atmospheric pressure, 48 points for pressure from the surface. We need 160 for one research. So We need bigger chunks. 32. Okay, now we're going to do the EVA. Get the EVA report. 32. Keep it. Store it. Alright, now remember our mission is to plant a flag. So, golly, I guess we're just going to have to get off this craft and go all the way down there. So you let go. You're going to go into a fall. And it's all good. Here he is. Walking on the moon. Doo-doo. They burned that out when I was on the radio in high school. God, what was that? Years ago? 40 years ago? Anyway. Ta-da! Let's plant a flag. Alright, and this really is a big moment. So we'll call this Site 1 Mun. Site 1 Mun. And of course you got to take a picture, right? F1. Here, let me turn the... Get the craft in it. Okay, here we go. F1. Ta-da! Take my picture. Alright, so. How are we going to get back in? Alright, now. Here's something you should... I always do a test whenever I'm on the planet because I need to know gravity density. There's one test you can do, and that's jump up as high as you can. Okay, so that jump was pretty good. So I'm going to try to jump, run forward and jump. And then I forgot to climb. Alright, so that doesn't work. So you can try all the jumping. I should show you climbing. I hope I don't walk. I hope I don't do the knock the rocket over, because we really can't have it on its side. Alright, I had that thing rocking too much, scared the crud out of me. You see me kicking and busting on it, and thank Lord we have shock absorber springs. So, here's what you need to do to get back on your ship, to get out of here. Did I get a surface sample? I probably am unable to achieve surface samples at this point, but I will check. Yes, no surface samples yet. Alright, so what we need to do is turn on our jetpack. Okay? And we are gonna lift ourselves up in the air. Now, you want to go flying around the moon's surface? You can, but it's easy to hurt yourself. So we just need this. You know, if you don't want to do this, you do have an option to install the ladder. And when you grab, just push the F button, and here you are, hanging on the front door. Alright, at this point, it probably makes sense just to board, unless I wanted to retrieve the experiments that I have out there, but I don't need those right now. So, what are we going to do? I actually have lost my comrades, and I'm not sure where they are. I'm wondering, did I destroy them somehow? This is too much for me. Okay, so I'm on the Mun. They're in the air. I must not be able to get some form of confirmation. So what I need to do is maybe take off. Or here, let's raise my antenna. Maybe I can get them on a... What was I hitting? Was that tab? These are the planets we can visit. Ta-da! Okay. Is there a backward? Yeah, the backward is above the tab. Alright, I can't see him. So I could go back to Space Center. Or I can sit here and look in the sky. And wait for them to fly over. Alright, I'm going to go back to the Space Center. We can leave him up on the Mun, right? I'm kind of curious as to why they're not there. Wonder if they were in a decaying orbit and they just crashed and I didn't monitor them, and now I've got 3 dead Kerbals because I wasn't above the 1200 threshold. Oh boy. Let's see. Station. Ship. Alright, they're there. Let's just go see where they are. And as they fly over the dark side, I'm going to try to take off and rendezvous with them. Let me check the electricity. Looks like we're fine. Looks like we have plenty to get home. We have enough for a small maneuver. But really we're not in this game. He's in this game. Or she, I should say. That's Valentina. And also she has nothing in her lander. And plenty to get home. So anyway, I need to pause here. And I will pick this up in just a second. Alright, thank you. I needed to pause for a minute to help my dog take care of something. I have a few cashews I'm going to eat. And I couldn't see this ship with my other ship, so maybe I can do a vice versa. See, there it is. So I'm going to set it as a target. And then it'll tell me when it comes over. So I'm going to come to about here. and realize I'm moving at 553 meters per second. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and lock it into that orbit. Or, you know, but first, retrograde. And now I'm going to go back to this craft. And we're going to start our ascent to rendezvous with that ship, we hope. We all have enough gas to get home alone anyway. Each ship can get home without assistance from the other. So that may be the way to go. So basically, this is the same as the other thing. We have to start to take off by giving it gas, and you're going to see your ship starting to lift up into the air. Then you want to pitch into the 90 degree. See this? Now you're not fighting the atmosphere, and the gravity's quite a bit less. So you can stick it on 45. So what we're trying to do now is achieve some altitude. And even though Kerbal doesn't have a sea, we do have a sea level for Kerbal. And I will tell you that when we landed, we were about 2,000 to 3,000 feet above Mun sea level. I know it doesn't really make any sense. So anyway, I'm trying to gain altitude. Pull our landing gear up. I'm also wondering when this spaceship's going to come into my vision. So what we're trying to do is achieve the 500 like they have, and we're also going to try to get the similar altitude. So if we could see it coming. Oh, I just can't see it. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to mind my own business. I'm going to put it in altitude. Alright, so we're at about 9,000 now. It's going to be above us. Let's go ahead and get up to 5. Okay, I've run out of gas, so pop that. And that should be fine. That's going to crash back into the surface. So we've left some surface debris on the moon. Now we're going to get up to 550, something like that. Whatever it takes. And as you can see, we're going to achieve the approximately 12,000 in altitude. Now, we've really goofed hard. So, let me put this down. I'm going to point this straight back at the planet. Okay, like that. Now I pull that top altitude down and push the bottom periapsis up. So you probably can't see it. But this is, I'm pulling that down to about 15. What are we at over here? 13.43. Let's pull that down to 14. Or to us, whatever that is. Alright, now that it's to us, we can put this one out on 10, 11. Maybe we'll do a little more. Maybe we'll do more than them so that they can catch us. Let's just put it on 14 for now. Alright, so what I have just done is come from the surface of the moon, put myself back in a stable orbit. I seem to have plenty of gas. I don't know about getting home, but I can rendezvous for sure. And then his gas, shared with my gas, can get home. Then we can separate and land individually, if I remember to save some of this gas. Otherwise, we'll just have to attach ourselves and come down and take our chances. That could be fun too. So now we have a rendezvous mission. So I don't want to set it with the space station. I want to set Y1 as my target. You can see we're off a little. We've got some distance between us. And I need him to move faster than me. So he's got an apoapsis of 1429. I'm going to go. I'll just put it right on his, like right on top of it. Now I just have a little. And then when I come up to here, I'm going to do a little more. And you can see the two orange spots. I'm putting them right together right there. Yeah, I know I overdid it. So let me take this moment to put them back. Alright, now I see we're not going to jive because we have different orbits. So when I get up there to mine, I'm going to put that on 14297. So I'm going to come up here. And the more we can get done in the beginning, the better off we'll be in the end. So I'm going to try to put that on 14297. Okay, 14282. Now what that's done is that's put us even further apart, but that's okay. It looks like I'll be just a little bit ahead of him when we hit this, so let's do this. We'll change to target. And we come swooping around. Okay, so there was my landing site. And here is my entourage. So, see, this is moving to me. So I can start slowing down. Bringing this down to 0. And if I wanted to, I could move this. See that? Line everything up. Three points. Alright, 0. So now we're basically pointed straight at him. We can go look if we want. See how messed up we are. So it looks like we're going to be 10.5 kilometers there and 15 kilometers there. So we need to do something now so we don't have to wait till we get all apart. So anyway, see that? So put it right on it. And now I'm moving at 5.6. Now let's see what's happening. Okay, now we pull this one, we don't push it. Okay. Now I've kind of pushed it a little bit, but I'm trying to get there a little quicker. So if we look out in space, we need to check and make sure we're not going to crash into the planet. And we are. See, we are. So basically, we did too much too quick. And we need to pull this back down to 0 and start this process all over again. Now I put at 1.1, we still may be moving towards each other, but it looks like I'm not anywhere near the point where I'm going to crash. So let's try this again. Maybe we can do this a little faster. Oops, I pull, I don't push. Let's go to 4. Alright. Checking that we're not going to crash into the planet. And we're not. We're going to come within 9,000 of it, which is quite alright. And it's just a matter of jockeying and Jimmy until you get it. Alright, so we're starting to close in. And if I want to put it back to 4, I'm probably safe to do that. Of course, if I'm going to do that, I might as well adjust it too. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good at my altitude. Until I start to come down to their level, I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to see if we keep closing in. Looks like they've grown a kilometer apart. Less than. Yeah. Now, if I had to, I could stop and let him maneuver to me. But since they're in an orbit of their own, I thought this would be better. Alright, so I like it at 4. Alright. Back on the same orbit. Then we just do it again. Alright, as we get closer, 4 may not be comfortable anymore, so you may have to lower it to 2 or 3. Constantly adjusting will save you gas. You can get her done just by doing all the rules. It just takes longer. Alright, right now I'm preforming like we're running out of oxygen, and I put it on 15.4 meters per second, which is a joke. Way too much. But I did it, so I spent the fuel. I might as well get the benefit rather than just start reversing everything instantly. So at about 300, I'm going to start slowing it down. 300 meters. 600. 550. 500. 450. 400. 350 coming on my mark. Alright, so I start tapering it off right about now. And this gives me, so I don't have to do it all in one burn. I can look up and say, oh look, they're 200, I'm at 4. See, I'm already back down to 4. And then when those line up, they sometimes just line up. Alright, we're on collision course, possibly. So about every time it goes 10, I do a little shot. Okay, usually I kind of lock it up at 30 and turn it back to 0, but we're already headed in that direction pretty good. All right. Two, that's pretty good. You're not going to hit hard. You're not going to shear off each other. You're so lined up, the magnets are going to pull you back together. Let's aim the camera from here, then we can see it. Alright, at about 3 meters, it seems like the magnets kick in. This will be a good dock. I'm almost... Okay, I tried to mess it up and couldn't. What I was trying to do was twist it so I could get the hatches lined up. But essentially, I'm out of gas here, so I'm shutting this engine down. Alright, this engine should be active. Okay, so all we need to do is bring 2 ships back to Kerbal orbit and then separate them and let them each take their own individual trip down. The exception would be the capsule, which used all its gas, and so it's helpless now. So we may leave that, cause another rescue, or just, God, I don't want to lose a scientist. I don't want to lose one. So we may just try to take it down. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But these guys, they're going to travel back separate and individual, that's for sure. I might actually use that to get us out of orbit, because if I use that, I'll leave more space junk. Which, heck with the space junk, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to leave it and just deal with it, I guess. Well, I have batteries, solar panels. If I had some type of command control here, this could act as a satellite as it circles the... Anyway, I'm going to end the video here. I don't know if you'll see me back at Kerbal Space Center or back in orbit. We can assume that the landing is done. We're back in orbit, and I've already showed you how to get home. So this may be the end of this whole video series altogether if I don't come back. And I may come back and do this again hardcore with no reverting flights, no quick saves, turn up all the difficulties and see if I can do this. I know I can. I just get frustrated because you kill a Kerbal, you don't get a second chance on ship designs. If you make a flight error, you blow it. Sometimes you just can't get anywhere because you just keep spinning your wheels, and then every time you spin your wheels, you waste money and you lose your efficiency. Anyway, I may just start over with a God mode, which means once you push the button, it's just between your Kerbals and God. Anyway, thank you for watching. I apologize if I'm too heavy for you guys. Like I said, this is a special interest niche, and if you have an interest in this, then maybe you'll have an understanding for me and people like me. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this series. It may stop right here, but either way, keep looking at my channel, and hopefully I'll get you a new video that's interesting and stimulating. Alright, thanks for watching.